2019 25th Anniversary National Legends Cars Championship is sponsored by 24 Hour Solutions. No problems, only solutions. A very warm welcome to Brands Hatch for the 24 Hour Solutions 2019 Legends Cars National Championship Round 6 on the Indy Circuit at Brands Hatch, part of the American Speed Fest. A big grid, a massive crowd here today. Here's how the calendar shapes up. This will be the conclusion of Event 3. We're heading into a long summer break, which leads us to Donington Park for the Truck Fest in August. Before that, though, Barry catches up with Tom Granger.
Tom, here we are for round 6 of the National Legends Cars Championship, and driving a team car you share with Ricky Leggett. It's been a little while since we've seen you out, but that was at Brands Hatch last time. Didn't end so well.
No, it didn't end so well last time. Had a complete engine failure, so we've got a different engine now, so hopefully we can move on from that and have a good day today. We've
followed for television 10 or 12 years these Legends. I've never seen a dull Legends race, but from a driver's point of view, I mean, why did you get involved with Legends, and what do you get from it?
I mean, I started purely on going around when I was doing Metros, watching Legends when we used to share events, and I obviously did a lot of karting when I was younger, and I thought that was a fair comparison, but not doing karting, and they obviously look fantastic, and to watch the racing is brilliant as a spectator. So it was kind of the spectacle of 20 odd cars, all bumper to bumper, close racing. That is the reason I got into it.
So here we are at Brands Hatch for round 6, another scorching event coming up for us in front of 30,000 people, leading the championship by a smidgen, about 15 points between you and second place. How are you feeling?
Yeah, really confident. I mean, yesterday we had a really good start to the day with a 4th and a 2nd. I felt really strong, really fast, and then unfortunately in the last race of the day we had a mechanical fault, which was just one of those freak things. So we just onwards and upwards, we move on. We're still at the front. Be at a small margin, but we, fully intend to extend that today, should we say?
So we've got over a third of the way through the season in a very short time, really, with these events, and yet the championship sort of top 5 is a very small gap. But between you and second place, there's actually only race pace difference, possibly.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I said at the start of the year that I fully expected at least half a dozen drivers to go into the last weekend with a chance of winning the championship, and I still stand by that now. Some super drivers. We're all very, very close, which is why we all do this. The racing's great. So yeah, we've just got to keep finishing, keep doing our best, and then if we're in the fight at the end, then great.
So Paul, we haven't caught up with you for some time. Bit of a mixed season for you, but whenever I'm watching this racing, your vehicle always seems to be in amongst the mix at the moment.
Yeah, the car's going well. I mean, we had a few issues, misfires and bits and pieces for the last 2 weekends. It seems to have got there yesterday on the last race, but today, hopefully, it might be a better day.
Anglesey only 7 days ago, and suddenly we had a big turnaround to come here. We had a few little issues at Anglesey. Busy week for you.
It was, yeah. We got back late Sunday night, back up at 7 o'clock Monday morning, stripped all 3 cars down, and we had 2.5 days to get them done, and back here for Thursday night. So yeah, I'm very tired now though.
51 machine, a great livery, one of these you want us to spot on the pack, and you're not holding back, to be honest. You're always in the sort of front bunch.
Yeah, I just want to try and go up as high as I can. See if we can go a little bit further up the championship and go from there.
It's the first time that Phil Turner has gone into the draw to be on the front group, and he's done that. He's drew pole position. That's the magic of Legends Cars racing. I'm not sure he'll call it magic, but it's going to be a nerve-wracking moment for the pole man. He's got Marcus Pett to his outside, James Hall Morton behind, and let's see how Phil Turner does. for the first time from the front of the grid. That was an assured start from me for Phil. It's got Rob Fountain looking down his inside. He's in 4th place at the moment as they go, and we go on board with Phil Turner. Mike Schlupp to the outside line. Miles Rudman flying around the outside and making progress in the black and yellow 7. Cy Haraway on the inside of Will Gibson, but as they go up through Druids for the first time, a lock up there from John Mickle and a tap on the back end of Nick Bridgman's car. Bridgman is around, and problems for Jonty Norman in 43. Bridgman recovers. Norman is right at the back of the field in 43. In car with Miles Rudman now looking at Rob King, the man from York, in front of us. This is the battle for third. Rudman takes the inside line, grabs third position, but it's Marcus Pett from James Hall Morton. All three of the top three having won races this year. It's been so competitive the 2019 season. We have had 8 different winners in this championship so far this year. I can't think of too many other championships where at this early stage of the season, this third event of the year where we've had that. Mike Schlupp passed by Rob Fountain in 31 and John Mickle in the chrome livery. Will Gibson looks up the inside line here of Mike Schlupp. He's going to do a double pass, I think. Paul Simmons on the outside line, and yeah, Will Gibson makes it past. Can't quite deal with Paul Simmons up front. Then the chrome 4 of John Mickle, 31 up ahead of him is Rob Fountain. The 2000 champion returned to racing last year, retired after winning the championship in 2000 to concentrate on his business. But it's Marcus Pett out front from James Hall Morton, and Miles Rudman trying to reel in the front two. I think he's pretty much with them now, so we'll ride with Miles as they come through Clark Curve and onto the Bradham Straight here. James Hall Morton bump drafting with Marcus Pett. Now looks at the outside line, going into paddock. Will he chop back for the cut back on the inside? There isn't room there from Marcus Pett. Car number 79, the man from Boston in Lincolnshire, as is Rob Fountain. Up into Druids again, and James Hall Morton trying to work out where he can get past. He seems to have the pace, but at the moment not the position or gap as Paul Simmons goes through on the inside line there. Will Gibson chasing Cy Haraway, the championship leader. Haraway is 3 cars behind John Mickle. Now, going back to what Barry Welch said in the interview with Cy Haraway, if it finishes like this, Cy Haraway would lose the championship lead in this race to the chrome 4 John Mickle. Paul Simmons in behind, then Rob Fountain, Cy Haraway. Will Gibson in the black and blue 57 is next up. On board with Gibson. Is he going to be able to make a move on Cy Haraway here as the race leaders again go across the line? A little bit of a gap back at the moment to Rob King, who runs in 4th position. And Paul Simmons with his stablemate John Mickle, a little bit of a barge there. If you ain't rubbing, you ain't racing, they say. Cy Haraway just nudging into the side of Rob Fountain. They both survived that, and it is close quarter legends racing. Fountain chasing Gibson. Gibson on the inside line of Cy Haraway, which converts to the outside Graham Hill bend here. Left-hander Graham Hill bend onto Cooper Straight. So Haraway up ahead of Rob Fountain, then Will Gibson on board with Connor Mills, who is just behind those guys as well. Sean Smith in the red and black 21 in the mix as well. Sean 6th in the championship coming into this round. Marcus Pett 5th in the standings at the moment. Haraway the leader, of course, from John Mickles, Miles Rudman, and Connor Mills in the 82 car. Connor working his way through the field and quietly picking up points. Gibson having a look on the grass at the inside line of Rob Fountain. They come along the main straight and go into paddock. Superb shot from the pit wall there, and now round the outside line goes Will Gibson. Will Gibson challenging Rob Fountain on the outside line, and we were talking of Connor Mills. He's right behind them and trying to close on as they go under the Burton Power Brands Hatch Bridge here into Druids. Sean Smith on the outside line. Thomas Granger, I know Mum's watching, so it's Thomas. He's in the 26 car and he's having a great dice there with Sean Smith. That's the leading team car in the championship, shared with Rick Leggett, as we heard. Rick, in fact, having his best score in yesterday's round. Several other drivers doing that. Now Phil Turner dicing with Gerard McCosh. Gerard trying to close in on Bill Reid in the 67. Bill and Gerard running in the gentleman's group off the back of the grid for this race. Phil Turner, I take my hat off to him, going into the main grid for the first time. I've said this about many drivers over the years. It takes a lot of courage for new drivers to do that, particularly at Brands Hatch and particularly with thousands of people watching, and a little bit of a kerfuffle there between Will Gibson and Rob Fountain. Fountain's in the gravel, Gibson spins. Thankfully he's not gone over like he did at the first meeting of the year. It looks like Rob Fountain survived and is coming out of the gravel, but Will Gibson is beached, and that, I reckon, will be, safety car. They're getting ready. So they'll get the report from the marshals for sure before they deploy the safety car, but the officials, as you can see, on the pit lane, on the starting rostrum, are ready to put that out if needs be. As James Hall-Morton makes a move, we saw him in the back camera, and James Hall-Morton's got the lead, but they're coming into a yellow flag zone. Hall-Morton clearly in front, that's before the yellow flags. So James leads, Marcus Pett second, third place is Miles Rudman, and look at the effort going into shifting that car from the gravel, and he's so difficult. I think it's going to require the rescue vehicle, the snatch vehicle, to come out and do that, but it's very definitely a trio for the lead with James Hall-Morton. That was a very opportune move by James. He realised he had the momentum there. He's always been quick off of Clark Curve. That was how he challenged for the win and got the win in his first race win here a couple of months ago. He's out front again, building his confidence, James Hall-Morton. It's difficult really to remember that he was in the Rookie Championship last year, as of course was Cy Haraway. So through they go. We'll talk about the momentum. I don't think the safety car's coming out. I think the marshals are going to be able to clear that incident at paddock. But the drivers who had their best scores yesterday in round 5, John Mickle, Sean Smith, Mike Schlupp and Phil Turner, they all have momentum, as does Rick Leggett. Rob Fountain has caught Bill Reid. Bill has been passed by Gerard McCosh. So Gerard having a good race and has managed to get ahead, as has Bill Reid, of a couple of drivers who've had issues in the early part of the race. Will Gibson's machine is thankfully moved to safety as the battle for the lead continues, with James Hall-Morton from Marcus Pett. Pett now under pressure from Miles Rudman, the Sutton Coldfield-based man, in third place. Marcus Pett's thinking about going for the lead, but he'll be mindful of the 7 car right behind him. Rudman, remember, third in the championship. Marcus Pett holds 5th place at the moment. James Hall-Morton 7th in the standings, leads this race as they come out of Clark Curve onto the Brabham Straight to tick off another lap here at Brands on the Indy circuit. This is the first race of 3 as ever from our 6th round of the season. Paul Simmons challenging Rob King. Simmons looks to the outside line. Has he got momentum here? King is on the inside line. He's going to hold on to 4th position as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. The leaders, though, heading up to Druids. Superb battle for the lead, and it's James Hall-Morton still there. Marcus Pett putting him under pressure whilst looking in his mirrors at this man we're on board with, Miles Rudman. Down into Graham Hill Bend they go. James Hall-Morton, the leader, turns in. He's got a little bit of a lead there, a little bit squirrely at Graham Hill Bend, and I tell you what, Marcus Pett, now he's having a look. Pett going through on the inside line, he grabs the lead. Marcus Pett leads. James Hall-Morton second. Goes wide into Clearways. That's a good racing line, but it's an invitation for Miles Rudman to come through. So James Hall-Morton now the chaser. I tell you what, he could still win it from there. He's got Miles Rudman in front of him. He hooks up. He's bump drafting with him to try and close in on Marcus Pett to grab the lead back. Last lap. Rudman back into the lead. So Rudman there, but Marcus Pett challenges on the inside line. Miles Rudman from there surely is going to hang on to it. You can see James Hall-Morton busy challenging. He's back in third, goes to the outside. Marcus Pett hangs on to second as they go in towards Druids, but it's Miles Rudman, the race leader. The winner surely will come from these 3. They've built up a big gap. They've fought amongst themselves, and now it's all about who can do it on the last lap. And Miles Rudman looking very good here, but on the grass goes Marcus Pett. Pett was looking for a gap, ultimately finds it and goes through. Marcus Pett back in the lead. Miles Rudman now will look to rebuild the momentum. Maybe James Hall-Morton will bump draft with him off Clark Curve. But Marcus Pett, what a move. He was on the grass along Cooper Straight. He was on the tarmac when he made the pass, and he's there. Well, there's no bump drafting because James is going for second place. Here's the checker. Marcus Pett wins. A photo finish for second. It's James Hall-Morton in second. What a last corner from James Hall-Morton, and third place Miles Rudman. Once again, superb Legends racing. If you're already watching it, you don't need me to tell you. Here's the result. Marcus Pett from James Hall-Morton and Miles Rudman. Paul Simmons 4th from Cy Haraway and Rob King. Then John Mickle and Connor Mills. Tom Granger in 9th. Sean Smith completes the top 10 ahead of Nathan Anthony in the van. Nick Bridgman next. Mike Schlupp from Gerard McCosh and John T. Norman. Bill Reid 16th from Rob Fountain and Phil Turner. And a non-finish, sadly, for Will Gibson. in the number 57 machine. Into victory lane comes Marcus Pett. He is delighted. Let's hear from him.
Another win, great way to start round 6.
Yeah, exactly that. We got a good board draw there, so starting on the front row and worked with James early on to build a gap, and turned into a nice little fight towards the last 3 laps, but luckily I was able to come out on top.
James, great result there. I had the lead there in the latter laps and then he just brought past you.
Yeah, I saw Miles and Marcus battling and I got a chance to go into the lead, which, to be fair, kind of regret now. Took it a bit early doors, but when I saw me and Marcus got 1 and 2 in the ball draw this morning, the plan was to just pick up with Marcus, and I said to him, don't worry about me for the first 7 laps. We'll have a battle with the last 2, but I wasn't expecting Miles to come where he came from. But to be fair, I enjoyed that, and I'm glad he did because it made it more enjoyable.
Great to see you back on the podium. 3-horse race there at the end because you 3 pulled well away from the group. It could have been anyone's in those last 2 laps.
Yeah, I thought I had it, to be honest with you, but I was just so focused on going forward and getting in the lead that I didn't realise how long was left in the race. But fortunately Marcus did a brave move and got back past me, and yeah, as I say, I didn't realise I was on the last lap, and James just come sailing past me on the finish line. So, but no, it was a good race. So yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Bill, some fantastic racing so far here at Brands Hatch. We haven't caught up with you for quite some time. You've done this for quite a while now. How do you think your racing career's gone so far with the Legends?
Good fun, awesome fun. I'm not fast enough, but everybody would say that. But it's great fun. It's a great paddock as well.
You're one of the few drivers who nominate to sort of start off the back rather than get in the reverse grid scenario. You're getting in some good tussles though.
Yeah, we're getting there slowly. It's I just need to be able to hang on to the pack a bit more. So, but I'm gradually getting there.
It's obviously quite addictive because you spent 2 or 3 years doing it.
Yeah, very much so. Because originally I was only doing 1 round as a 50th birthday present, belated birthday present to me from me. So, and here we are later, 3 years later.
And the reverse grid scenario, which you can dip into at any time, are you tempted sometimes?
Yeah, we'll do it at some point, but just not yet. So, it'll come.
Nathan, getting ready for race 2 today on round 6. Mixed bag out last time at Anglesey. We seem to be pulling it together now. We're getting some good battles in the last one.
Yeah, home circuit. We traditionally we quite strong brands. The pace is so close together this weekend. The weather's obviously with us, unlike Anglesey, and it's it's good. It's but the pack is so tight. We're trying to find tenths now. It's not seconds, it's tenths.
The car seems to be running well. It certainly seems on pace on the timing screen. It's just getting past the people in front. Famous last words, really.
We've got the pace. We've got the pace. It's a case of you can either bully your way through and cause a pretty bad scene, or you can drive around people. And I like to drive around people and not through them. So, you know, we realistically we've got to do it properly, get the job done, and come home with satisfaction.
2 races still to do, so we've got a little bit of jumbling around on the grid anyway, so that could work in your favour later.
Yeah, depends how we get on in this one to see how far back we go on the grid for the final. Probably going to end up sort of probably midfield for the final, I should think. We need to get some points. Points is key at the moment. We've dropped from 10th in the championship to 11th, but there's like 30 points between me and the next guy, so we need to get some decent results, get some points in, and to get points you need to finish.
Pole position to Will Gibson, so Will have the chance here to get some decent points back after the non-finishing race number 1. Sean Smith is outside, and then Miles Rudman. It really puts in perspective what Miles did in race number 1. He flew through the field. A little tap on the back end of Will as they go into Paddock Hill Bend, and it's Gibson that leads this one. Sean Smith on the outside line, Connor Mills in the silver and light blue 82 machine looking around the outside line as well. Pick up on Thomas Granger, busy chasing Mike Schlupp, but it's Will Gibson in lead position. Sean Smith slots into second, Miles Rudman third. Nathan Anthony on the outside line in the van in 29 is next up from Cy Harraway. Then the 51 of Paul Simmons, great 4th place for Paul. Nick Bridgman passed by John Mickle as they go along Cooper Straight. But Will Gibson keen to add another win here. He's at the lower reaches of the top 10 at the moment. He wants to get in touch with James Hall Morton Sean Smith and Connor Mills to be in with a mid-season shout of challenging for overall championship honours. On board with Jonty Norman, through goes Thomas Granger on the inside line, chasing Marcus Pett. What a race one we had. It was just not over until the checkered flag, as ever in Legends cars. Those two working together. Tom Grattan off, that's Nathan Anthony off, and Cy Haraway is in the gravel. Cy Haraway and Nathan Anthony off. There's been a coming together between the two cars, and it looks like Haraway, the championship leader, is off the track. Now that means that will be his second DNF of the season, and some championship winning years tend to have one non-finish. If you go back, I think Chris Grieve was a driver who won the championship, one DNF. Certainly two is probably as many as you realistically want in Legends cars, and Haraway is off the circuit. That is major drama. So John Mickle will be looking to try and get the championship lead away from him here. If he scores well, he will take the lead. There is Cy Haraway, the championship leader. He is going to be absolutely gutted about that. Haraway on 2.450 points coming into this, 2.415 for John Mickle. But back with the race, Connor Mills here busy chasing Paul Simmons, James Hall-Morton in behind, and Miles Rudman busy challenging Will Gibson with Sean Smith in third place. This is the battle for fourth. Another fourth place here, if he stays there, for Paul Simmons, means that he will, I think, possibly be top point scorer on the day. Oh, actually no, Miles Rudman would be, wouldn't he, at the moment? So Paul Simmons will be second top point scorer. But we've got a long way to go here in our second race. On board again with Connor Mills and James Hall-Morton, both of those two second generation Legends drivers. Steve Mills, of course, raced with us a few good years ago, and Peter Morton, both Steve and Peter both helping their sons in the paddock. Whether the sons actually listen to dads, of course, is another matter. So we've got Sean Smith still trying to chase Miles Rudman. Nobody really making a break at the moment. Will Gibson's on board, looking back. Miles Rudman, second place chasing. Sean Smith looks up the inside line. Game of chess, really, this one at the moment, between all of the top cars, and still nobody breaking away. The top six cars, followed by John Mickle in seventh. You know, he's not going to be lost by that group. He's going to do nothing but close in on them. So John Mickle still picking up the points. He's second in the championship. Miles Rudman will use this race to try and get back up towards the second position in the championship at the expense of John Mickle. Miles Rudman working hard. There's Connor Mills and Paul Simmons. Hall-Morton behind. Let's see what Connor can do as he goes on the straight. Doesn't at the moment seem to have the speed that he had the opening rounds of the year when he was championship leader. I think we've had 4 different championship leaders so far this year. Gerald McCosh busy chasing the 247 of Phil Turner. As ever, those guys having a super race, but it's still Will Gibson leading. Connor Mills on the outside line of James Hall-Morton. Side by side they are. Connor's going to have the inside and the racing line into Graham Hill Bend as we watch the race leaders. John Mickle edging closer towards this lead group of 6 cars. Into Surtees they go. Will Gibson will just be hoping for a little bit of luck now. He's had some rotten luck over the start of the season, has had a race win. It's a little bit sideways there. Collects it all up though. Miles Rudman will have seen that and might be able to go. I'm surprised the drivers behind not really working together at the moment. The bump drafting would help, although Miles Rudman may be thinking that he doesn't need it. Goes to the outside line, challenges for lead position, but Gibson has got it. Here we come into paddock. Lovely eyes on the front of that car. A mean look from the 7 machine, rattles the curb. Sean Smith closing up as well. Rudman goes slightly the wider of the 2 chasers. Will Gibson still holding his nerve in the race lead. James Hall-Morton behind Connor Mills. Where is John Mickle? He's latched himself onto the back of the lead 6. This is great stuff from him. Marcus Pett is in 8th place, so this is a good run through the field. Marcus starting at the very back of the balloted drivers. Will Gibson though being challenged and through on the inside line as they go into Surtees. A change for lead position. Rudman leads, Sean Smith second. Will Gibson is demoted to 3rd and under massive pressure now from Paul Simmons. Man from Lindfield in Surrey in the Mickle Motorsport prepared machine. Tom Granger working his way through in the 26, local man. But it's Miles Rudman back at the head of this one and on potentially to be top scorer here today. Back with the Turner and McCosh battle as well. They're enjoying themselves. What a battle. Look at this group of cars. All 8 of the lead cars are all together here pretty much, so this race could go any way. John Mickle looking to try and pass Connor Mills, looks on the inside line. Mills runs a little bit wide. Marcus Peck very nearly up with him as well, but it's Miles Rudman still leading from Sean Smith. Will Gibson is not being lost at all in 3rd position, so could be some decent points here for the 57 machine. 51, the yellow car of Paul Simmons, in 4th place, as he was in race number 1. On board with Connor Mills, here we come. Mills busy chasing James Hall Morton. How many of these drivers have won races this year? The answer is most of them. Across the line they go again. Miles Rudman still there, but not getting away. The Pro 24 prepared machine still out front. Sean Smith having a look. Look at the back end wanting to drift across, but Sean Smith has it 100% under control, and he's looking for the race lead. Now, James Hall Morton up into 4th. Where did James come from? Superb outside line for him, and he's grabbed 4th position from 51 Paul Simmons, who's now down into 5th with the attentions of Connor Mills. Here's Will Gibson, has a look at the outside line, and Sean Smith going for the lead along Cooper Straight. Smith's got the line, but Miles Rudman goes for a sweep. It's a 4-car battle for the lead. James Hall Morton on the outside line of Will Gibson, but Rudman holds on to it. Now Paul Simmons coming back into it, plus all the chasers as well, and Tom Granger's with them now. It's 9 cars for the lead. Tom Granger around the outside line here of Marcus Peck in the 79. We've got a black and white driver warning flag going out, probably for track limits, I'm guessing, but it's Rudman at the head of the queue, and I'm not sure that's where he would want to be, because he's in a position where he could get mugged for the lead here in the closing stages of the race. He'll take the lead, of course, and hold on to it. He knows how to defend. Connor Mills now exploring the outside line. Can't get past Paul Simmons. Now look at James Hall Morton. He was up battling for 3rd, but he's got Hunt out to dry. He's now behind John Mickle. On board with Connor Mills, looking at Paul Simmons, goes to the outside line. Rudman under pressure from Sean Smith. It is still Will Gibson in 3rd position. Mike Schluck busy chasing Jonty Norman. Nathan Anthony in behind as well. That's the 13th, 14th and 15th place battle, but the battle for the lead, still a multi-car dice with Miles Rudman still there. Is he going to leave a gap? He's going wide as they go down into Paddock Hill Bend on the last lap, and he holds his nerve. He got a good sweep there. Paul Simmons is back in 4th. He's busy challenging for a podium position. Will Gibson's got a bird's eye view of the battle for the lead, and Sean Smith does what he does so well, grabs the inside into Druid, and Smith leads on the last lap of the 2nd race of round 6 of the championship. Sean Smith, the man from Marlow, Buckinghamshire, goes into the lead, but watch Miles Rudman, watch Will Gibson, watch Paul Simmons and Connor Mills. They'll all want to be in the mix as well. Mills looks on the inside line, but it's still Sean Smith who, if anything, has broken away a little bit of Miles Rudman. It's going to be about the run out of Clearways, through Clark Curve and onto the Brabham Straight, but Sean Smith, I reckon, has timed that supremely well, and it's Smith that leads. He's got a length, maybe a length and a half over Miles Rudman as they come down towards the checkered flag. Rudman will challenge, but it's Sean Smith that takes the win. Rudman 2nd, Will Gibson a fine podium in 3rd place, and still the battling continues. Nathan Anthony recovering from his moment off the track, bent back bumper after the contact with Cy Haraway. So we can see there from the damage on the back that Cy must have nudged into the back of him. Look at these two having a battle. Gerard McCosh and Phil Turner dicing it out for 17th place. I think Gerard's going to get that. But the man with panache, the 21, Sean Smith, takes the win from Miles Rudman. Will Gibson in 3rd. Paul Simmons next up from Connor Mills, then John Mickle and James Hall Morton. Marcus Pett in 8th, Tom Granger 9th, Nick Bridgman in 10th position in the 68. 11th goes to Rob King from Rob Fountain, then Jonty Norman and Nathan Anthony. Mike Schluck and Bill Reid next up from Gerard McCosh and Phil Turner. Cy Haraway, sadly, a non-finisher, and he has lost the championship lead now. There is our winner. Sean Smith wins race 2.
Another podium, top slot. How was that?
Hard. Hard work. Same story as yesterday, exactly the same. Back row start and then a front row start. Defending, putting your car in the right place at the right time, I think. It's a brilliant race with these two. You can race well, everyone knows what everyone's going to do, no one's stupid.
Well, consistency's kicking in. We seem to be on the podium yet again.
Yeah, another P3, so it was a good hard race. Both Sean and Miles were flying, and it was I don't think I was ever going to be able to defend for 10-lap race and not let them get by, but I just didn't have quite enough speed to get past either of them, unfortunately. But hopefully we'll make some changes for the final and get the car back up on top spec.
Miles, we'll meet again. So race 2 out the way, another podium, so not bad for points.
No, like you say, it's all about the points, and I'm gutted I didn't get the win, but I'm happy with the points that I've got for second place. If I can keep the consistency for the next race, I'll be really happy.
Now, watching it as a spectator, pretty nail-biting. Could have gone anyway with the top 4 or 5 there for a while.
Yeah, it was really close at the top. I did thought I had it, but I started to cover too early going into paddock and just opened the door slightly for Sean. And fair play to him. He got the position and he got the win. But like I say, I'm happy with second place.
And game on for the final.
Yeah, a lot of hard work to do this time because I'm going to be starting at the back. So just got to get my head down and finish in a good position.
John, we called up with you at Anglesey for a chat, and things weren't going so well then, but we seem to have sorted those issues because this round 5 was good for you here, and indeed round 6.
Yeah, it's been very good. Anglesey, I was struggling with tyres, so I got a new set of tyres for this weekend, and things have been a lot better.
And best position so far, we're 11th. The last race we did was 13th. We've got the grand final to go, so you must be feeling a lot more confident.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Fingers crossed, we'll go better in the final.
Now, quite a packed grid, a lot of action going on, certainly in the last sort of 5 races over the last 48 hours. Hope for a top 10 slot maybe on this final.
Maybe.
You're going to start towards the front, aren't you?
Yes, I'm starting on the second row.
Is that good?
Yeah, gives me a chance to get away. So we'll see what happens.
Phil Turner on pole position from Rob Fountain, Mike Schlupp and Jonty Norman, as you heard, on row number 2. The top point scorers on the day so far: Miles Rudman, joint second, Paul Simmons and Marcus Pett. 4th position, James Hall-Morton. 5th jointly, John Mickle and Connor Mills. They start at the back as the top scorers so far. The drivers who haven't had the best of days starting towards the front. Look at that oil line on the outside of the track there, but it's Phil Turner on the front once again. Great learning experience for him, the former champion. Rob Fountain to his outside, Jonty Norman having a look and gunning for the lead, which he gets as they go into Paddock Hill Bend. Superb start by Jonty Norman, who leads into Paddock from row 2. Great racing on board with Phil Turner. Nick Bridgman out front. Will Gibson's not hanging around, neither is Connor Mills. Connor, incidentally, got fastest lap in race number 1. I've not even had time to tell you about fastest laps, but he's on the outside line and could be looking good for a win here as Jonty Norman comes under pressure. Rob Fountain through on the inside line to lead. Jonty second, Nick Bridgman third. The big point scorers starting to try and wend their way through the field. John Mickle, of course, now the championship leader. In car with Phil Turner as Rob Fountain leads. Will Gibson in 3rd place, chasing Jonty Norman in 43. Super move by Jonty round the outside of Paddock from the 2nd row to take the lead. Hats off to him. Here's Will Gibson up ahead of Nick Bridgman in the 68. Nick looking very determined. You can see the slippery surface flag is there. I'm sure the drivers can see that line of fluid which has been attended to by the marshals between races. Miles Rudman on the outside line. Rudman realistically in pole position here to take the points victory on the day. Slots in behind Paul Simmons, another man certainly in contention for the overall victory. And they've already caught Nick Bridgman outside line. Look at that gaggle of lead cars, lead scoring cars in the middle of the field here, and it's Rudman at the head of them. Well, with Simmons immediately in front, Connor Mills coming under pressure from Nathan Anthony, or is it the other way around? I think Connor and Nathan side by side with John Mickle in the Chrome 4 car looking on the inside line. The quick steel machine powers his way through. Nick Bridgman doesn't want to cede a gap there to Miles Rudman, so good racing from Bridgman. And still out front is Rob Fountain, who we're still looking to grab his first win on his return. He's had podia, which has been superb to see. Gibson challenging Jonty Norman for 2nd position. Good strong start here from Jonty Norman as James Hall-Morton looks around the outside line of Rob King. Jonty in third place now. Gibson, I think, has managed to annex second. Jonty might look up the inside line. Gibson's going to come across, but he's challenging for the lead, and it's still Rob Fountain in 31. I think I said earlier on in the programme that we'd had 8 winners this year. It is actually 9 different winners, so potentially if Rob Fountain can hold on, it could be 10 different winners. But Paul Simmons is busy challenging Jonty Norman, and behind him, Miles Rudman in the black and yellow 7 is in the mix, followed by Nick Bridgman, and Rudman here would dearly love to grab another podium from the very back of the point-scoring group. He's already well inside the top 6 as Will Gibson starts to put pressure on the race leader Rob Fountain. There is Miles Rudman, Nick Bridgman in behind, Connor Mills next up in the silver and blue, and the chrome livery of John Nichol about to come around the outside. John, the championship leader, 1 race win to his credit so far this year as Will Gibson gets his nose in front. Gibson leads. Rob Fountain down into second position. Rob's still learning about the cars. There have been changes over the years, and Rob telling me that he feels it's every bit as competitive, if not more so, than years ago when he raced here. It came back last year after last racing in Legends in the year 2000. Paul Simmons, very strong drive again. Third place for him, the reigning Masters champion. Then Miles Rudman, still Jonty Norman in the 43 car running well, but he's got John Nichol, the multi-champion, right behind him in that chrome livery with the blue 68 of Nick Bridgman. Then the van 29 of Nathan Anthony. Connor Mills in 82 is next up. I mentioned that Connor Mills had fastest lap in race 1. In race 2 it was Tom Granger, who's in the black and white car at the back of this group, as we watch Jonty Norman now coming under pressure from John Nichol for 4th position. So can the 4 car go into 4th place? They're side by side across the line into Paddock Hill Bend, still side by side. They'll give each other room. John realises he hasn't got the grip there, goes for the cutback though. That was about the cutback, not the grip. Well read by the multi-champion. John Nichol through on the inside line. Here's the battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th position. In fact, it was 5th, wasn't it? John Nichol was challenging for there. So he's got that. Jonty Norman now under pressure from Nathan Anthony. Nick Bridgman in behind. Then the 26 car of Tom Granger. Fastest man in race 2 was Tom. Here's the view coming along Cooper Straight into Surtees. Move here on the inside by 26, Tom Granger, and the car was very nearly sideways. He threw it past the 68 machine of Nick Bridgman. James Hall Morton in behind. Goodness me. Now Tom Granger in the black and white 26 car. He's actually out of shot at the moment, but he was the fastest man in race 2, got the fastest lap. He's the fastest man on the day so far, 54.872. Connor Mills was the fastest driver in race 1, 55.359, but Tom Granger, and slingshots through again! Granger throws the car through on the inside line of Jonty Norman, with on the outside line the van of Nathan Anthony battling hard with Jonty Norman. What a pair of moves from Thomas Granger! I've never seen 2 passes like that on 1 lap before in Legends, but Granger is certainly throwing caution to the wind in that shared 26 machine. The van is next up, then James Hall Morton now ahead of Jonty Norman. Jonty engaged in battle with Nick Bridgman, Sean Smith in 21 behind. Marcus Pett is in the mix as well with Connor Mills. Connor, as we said, fastest in race number 1. I wonder whether the fastest lap will be beaten in this one. Well, there's certainly some very determined driving going on, and out front it's still Will Gibson. Gibson from Paul Simmons, who's come through the field exceptionally well in this final race. One of the top scorers on the day. Remember that Will Gibson had the DNF in race number 1. Nathan Anthony, who could have had a DNF in race 2, but gamely carried on after the contact with Cy Harraway, who incidentally, after the problems in race 2, is not in this race. So Cy Harraway will slip down the championship order. And off onto the dirt. Phil Turner, a spin. What a day Phil Turner's had. 2 races starting at the very front of the grid, all part of the learning opportunity, and absolutely superb to see the 247 car, the 24-hour Solutions car. No problems, only solutions, and his solution will be getting back on track as Sean Smith looks on the inside line of the 43 machine. With marshal power required, maybe Phil will park it up as Will Gibson is challenged now, and Paul Simmons right round the outside line. Superb stuff from the Bailey-backed 51 machine. Look how Simmons is on the limit. Will Gibson down to second. Miles Rudman, who is chasing the day's overall points victory and will want to win in the final, goes on the outside line as well. Will, we can tell from his interview, maybe didn't feel the car was as powerful or as fast as it could be, but he is driving well as ever he does, and he's in third place. John Mickle is in fourth, trying to close in. So it's Paul Simmons leading, Miles Rudman in second. Rudman will go possibly second in the championship. I don't think I'm going to have time to work out the maths of this at the moment for the championship. We'll sort it all out for you after the race for sure. As Marcus Peck chases race 2 winner Sean Smith in the 21. I wonder if we're going to have 3 different race winners today. Hat-tricks these days in Legends cars are very, very difficult to get. The last hat-trick we had was Snetterton last year, where outside leg Steve Whiteleg managed to get one, as Will Gibson continues to chase. 3-way battle for the lead, I think, about to become a 5-way scrap. And look at that again, wild stuff from the 26 of Thomas Granger through on the inside line. He's opposite locking everywhere. Is he in the Legends Championship or the Drifting Championship? I'm not sure, but he's up into 4th place ahead of John Mickle, and Tom Granger is up with the leaders. Thomas Granger piling the pressure on. Miles Rudman looks for the lead, but it's Paul Simmons holding on at the moment. Oh, that's a shame. John T. Norman, a spirited drive, a great first few corners and a superb first few laps. You know what? John T. Norman is he's without a doubt got the potential for podium pace and maybe a heat win one day. We will see that as Bill Reid and Gerald McCosh dice back with the lead trio. Quartet now, because through in somewhat calmer style goes Thomas Granger. Wildman Tom up to the outside line now. There was a bit of gesticulation there. He's on the outside line of Miles Rudman, so challenging the day's points leader side by side, and he didn't quite have the grip, so Rudman stays second. This might allow Paul Simmons to start to build a bit of a lead here if they squabble long enough over second. No, they're going to bump draft. Here we come, Gibson on the back end of Granger, a little tap. 3 of them, in theory, should cut through the air quicker than one car on its own out front. We'll see whether that patterns out, but it's Rudman still the chaser in car number 7, who's worked hard all day, and remember, he's the top point scorer on the day so far. But Paul Simmons here is bagging a decent load of points with a potential victory. Across the line they go again. John Mickle just shy of this group, but the bump drafting works for Rudman, who looks round the outside line now. Granger's going to go on the inside, having helped the 7 into the corner. 7 goes wide, Rudman wide, and Granger up into second place with just Paul Simmons now between Tom Granger and the lead. But it's 5 cars for the lead. James Hall Morton in 6 is closing in as well. And you'll know from watching the earlier race, if you've only ever watched this programme for Legends, you'll know that you'll see the chasers catching up. This is level motorsport on every respect. So it's Paul Simmons still there, and the 26 guy having a look. Bill Reid and Gerard McCosh still busy working hard for 15th place. Gerard with Napoleon, we heard his backstory at the last round on the back of his car, and Bill having a look on the inside line. I think he's going to make a pass here. Both Gerard and Bill love a race with whoever it's with, and remember, these 2 drivers elected to start in the gentleman's group. If you want to come Legends racing, you don't have to join the front of the group. You can buy a car and race with the gentleman off the back and race purely for fun. There's always someone to race with, as there is out front, and Tom Granger looks on the inside line. Granger's got the lead. Miles Rudman looks on the inside line to challenge for second, but it's Paul Simmons there at the moment. Rob Fountain still in the mix in 31. Nathan Anthony there too in that chasing quartet. And now, as predicted, James Hall Morton is on the back end of the lead 6 drivers. He's got Will Gibson in front of him, and then John Mickle in the quick steel car. Mickle through on the inside line of Miles Rudman. That is a significant move for Mickle. The championship leader passes one of the main protagonists. A moment for Bill Reid, who's going to get going. We have also sadly lost Phil Turner, did call it a day, as did John T. Norman earlier on. But through Clark Curve, things are a little bit calmer than they have been, and it's the wild man out front at the moment, Thomas Granger, who leads, but Paul Simmons is not finished. He's trying to close in. Will Gibson still all over the back of Miles Rudman. 3rd place here is John Mickle. So John, having earned, and I have to say earned, the championship lead in this meeting, he's now on the podium ahead of the man who I think will take 2nd position in the standings, Miles Rudman. So that pass, for me, absolutely significant as we reach the close of our 3rd event of the year. But can anybody stop Tom Granger, who has been fast here, without a doubt. He leads this one and he's pulling away. Paul Simmons looking very strong again in second. Simmons is going to be on an outright points podium on the meeting, I think, if things stay with this, and Miles Rudman will take the day's overall points victory. Remember, he led the championship after day one, didn't take a win or even a podium on day one. They're on to the last lap, but still led the championship. It is all about consistent points scoring. Will Gibson, though, will want to deprive him of a further 10 points by having a look. The inside line is covered by the man leading the day on points there, Miles Rudman in 7, and it's still Tom Granger out front. I don't think Paul Simmons at the moment is close enough to chase him. Simmons' stablemate John Mickle is there in 3rd. Rudman 4th, Gibson 5th, Paul Morton in 6th place, who's worked so hard to come through the field as well and get his way up into the lead order. James Hall Morton won't be far away from a points podium. He was 4th on the day's points coming into this final race, but it's the 26 car of Tom Granger who is going to take another win in this championship. Rick Leggett's going to be cheering him on for sure, the man he shares the car with. Thomas Granger wins race 3 here of round 6 of the championship. 2nd goes to Paul Simmons, a fine 2nd for him, and 3rd place for John Mickle. What a Legends race we've had. We've had it all this weekend. We've had heartbreak, sadly, for some drivers, delight for others, including John Mickle, who's taken the championship lead. Some wild driving from the 20s, and there we go. I said about drifting, that lad knows how to entertain this massive crowd here as well. Thomas Granger the winner, Paul Simmons 2nd from John Mickle and Miles Rudman, Will Gibson in 5th from James Hall Morton, Marcus Pett 7th from Sean Smith and Rob Fountain, Nick Bridgman in 10th ahead of Nathan Anthony and Connor Mills. Rob King was next, then Mike Schlupp and Gerard McCosh. Bill Reid recovered to finish in 16th place. Non-finishes for John T. Norman and Phil Turner. That fastest lap, incidentally, went to James Hall Morton in 6th position. Not a surprise because he closed down on everybody as our top 3 come down into victory lane, headed by race winner Tom Granger in the 26 car. Barry's with him now.
From the back of the pack to 1st place, that's a great win.
Not bad, thank you. Yeah, it was a decent race as well. It was nice to actually have a clean, good race.
And 40 way through the pack most of the time there. These other 2 guys didn't make it easy though.
No, they're experienced guys, you know. They know what they're doing. I just came into that one, see what I could get, see if I could just pick people off one by one, and then, yeah, like you say, you get up to the front and there's good races, you know. So it's always hard, but always nice to beat them as well. So, no, good.
So after our earlier chat, that went quite well.
Very well today, yeah. Very happy. 2 fourths and a 2nd in the final. Yeah, very happy.
Now, they became a top 5 at one point, and then it was down to you sort of 3. John was actually getting a lot of stick from people behind him, so it was really about you and Thomas there just on that latter part.
It was, yeah. I mean, he got a lucky bit on the grass, but it was good. No, we had a good.
John, a very busy weekend. You fought hard to get through there. One of the toughest battles, I think, in the last 4 laps was the battle for 3rd place, and you held it there.
Yeah, we did hold there. I mean, the tyres got a bit softer in compound, and I think it's made us all very even. I think it's almost like a train in that sort of respect, and that's why it was hard, because the front 2 got away a little bit, and then 3rd, 4th and 5th were fighting so hard. And Brown's actually so hard to overtake, and it's just even the game up, and it's good for the crowd and the spectators, and we just got to make sure we do the best we can.
John Mickle, another podium, championship lead and 5th position on the day, which is won by Miles Rudman from Paul Simmons in 2nd and James Hall Morton 3rd. Marcus Pett in 4th. Behind John, jointly in 6th place, Tom Granger and Sean Smith from Connor Mills, then Will Gibson and Rob King. And the championship standings headed by multi-champion John Mickle from Miles Rudman, 25 points down. Then Marcus Pett, Cy Harraway and Sean Smith in 5th, ahead of Connor Mills in P6. That's how they stand as we head to Donington Park next time out. John Mickle leads the championship. Thank you for your company today, and we look forward to seeing you at Donington in August.